His eyes were wide open with a small smirk across his face as a purple tinge had started to coat his skin. Rigor mortis had already set in. Around March 24th, the Madison Police Department received a letter with no return address. The handwritten note inside read, "I want to set the record straight. I was scared. I was jealous. Barb is innocent and I wrecked her life." This letter was from Jerry Davies, and it claimed the stories he told police during his confession were all lies. So this changes things a bit, and police are thinking this actually would make sense. Maybe Jerry found Harold in Barbara's apartment, learned about who he was, and got so angry that he took the man's life. Maybe she really did come home to find Harry in her bathtub like she initially claimed. Only Jerry was the one responsible. And the new theory was falling into place, and now that police had a full-on confession, they finally had some direct evidence. And then a day later, on March 25th, 1978, a tenant in Jerry's building called the maintenance man to say there was a loud clattering sound coming from Jerry's apartment, and it was really starting to annoy him. So around 3:20 p.m., the maintenance guy and the property manager entered Jerry's apartment to a pretty horrific sight. Jerry was in the bathtub, the broken overhead fan whirring loudly above him. His eyes were wide open with a small smirk across his face as a purple tinge had started to coat his skin. Rigor mortis had already set in for Jerry Davies. Half hour later, his apartment was swarming with police. The coroner found no signs of a struggle, no bruises or cuts. However, sitting on the toilet tank was an empty bottle of Valium. Neither the pathologist nor the coroner knew of a single instance of someone overdosing on Valium alone. Plus, there were other little things, like Jerry had shaved before entering the tub, had written a check for next month's rent, had left out clean towels for himself. Things you probably wouldn't do if you planned to never exit the tub. Knowing that Detective Lolling had been there about a month earlier, warning Jerry about the dangers of Barbara, they collected all the evidence they could gather. And soon enough, Lolling discovers another explosive detail pointing in Barbara's direction. Jerry had also taken out a life insurance policy, and guess who was the beneficiary? Barbara Hoffman. Here's what's strange. Jerry had made the first 2 premium payments on the plan, but the 3rd payment was stopped, and the policy had lapsed a month before Jerry's. The whole thing was incredibly odd, but it got even weirder around April 7th. A member of the state crime lab had been running a series of tests on Jerry's body. The body had a familiar yet unusual smell. Burnt almonds. If you didn't know, burnt almonds are a telltale sign that the body has been poisoned with cyanide. Jerry Davies had ingested twice the lethal dose of cyanide. Well, they went back to some of the samples kept from Harold Burge's autopsy, and when they ran the test on Harry, they found he too had cyanide in his system.